Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business. Looking forward to talking with Shane Mahoney. Shane, it's great to see you, owner and founder of Lugos Travel. You got a really cool business, and you got a really cool business. I was excited to talk to you. You're a serial entrepreneur, but you're also in the luxury travel industry. You've been in
Right.
that for the last 10 years, and you're really about dedicating your life and your business to connecting and reconnecting loved ones by really crafting special travel experiences that really wow your clients. And so, I'm looking forward for a lot of reasons, but one of the things that I think is really important is the attention that we give that a computer cannot give, right? So
Mm.
as we are in this evolving decade of virtual reality and artificial intelligence and people wearing, God, will a robot take my job? Something like this is something only a human being can do for another human being to really get the nuance and the specialness of that. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? As far as how you find out, and make something really special, different, and unique.
Well, thanks, John. I appreciate the ability to speak to your audience. Lugos Travel is an award-winning global travel group, and we've booked thousands of life-changing luxury trips and tours designed to deeply connect loved ones over the years. How we do it is essentially using it's honestly it's probably nothing more than really thinking about our clients' experience at all moments, not just when they're doing something, but what happens leading up to that something, what happens during that something, and what happens after, and how do we transition into the new thing. So it's really all about really keeping our clients focused in our thoughts as far as what their experience is going to be like, not only from the perspective of what are they going to do, but what's the weather, how long is the trip going to take, and really any number of factors that can come
Yeah.
up.
It's interesting as you talk about your business, it reminds me of kind of the philosophy of the Four Seasons Hotel. Their philosophy, and this goes back to some fundamentals, systematize everything that is predictable so you can humanize everything that is exceptional. And so we're
Love that.
talking about, really kind of making things exceptional, not just great, not just amazing, but really exceptional. And so, so what type of person wants exceptional?
I mean, I would hope that everybody wants exceptional. I think the reality of that statement, though, is that we have to take into mind where people are. We have to meet people where they are. And the reality is that right now, coming up on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I think the American family, most of them are getting together, spending time with family and a little bit of downtime, and realizing that they had a phenomenal year. In spite of the challenges that might have come up, we've had a good year. We're still here. And so a lot of people, I think, are currently thinking, well, what we didn't do this year that we wish we did more of is spend more time with our family and our loved ones.
Yeah.
And so what I feel like a lot of people do is they have that thought, and then the realities of what it takes to plan international travel is really a stressful situation. And if I could, I'm just going to take a second to kind of put a pin in that.
Yeah. To do it,
Um,
please.
Here's the thing, right? I think people are people, and when we get met with a stressful situation, we do kind of a fight or flight kind of thing. And so with vacations and planning, it can be really daunting and stressful to put all of the things together. And so what I think most people do is they spend the holidays resolving to do that vacation, and then the beginning of the year happens and we just sort of get caught up into our own lives. And I've been guilty of this myself. Come 2-3 weeks before spring break, all of a sudden I'm realizing a flood of things. One, I have no plans for my kid for spring break. But that makes me think that what I really don't have is plans for a summer vacation with my family. And then what acutely happens is I start thinking, well, hotels are going to get more expensive, flights are going to get more expensive, and I need to have a plan now.
Yeah.
And the reality of the situation is that international travel for every single company in the world right now is that once you get to that point and you finally make a call to get some information so that you can see what you want to do, this is the process we're met with. Every single company in the world is going to take 30 minutes to an hour and a half to have a conversation with you about your likes and dislikes and what you want to do. And then from that point on, they're going to take 3 to 5 business days to get you one proposal. And then from that point, if you make any changes, and by the way, I'll give you a hint, everybody makes changes. It's another 3 to 5 business days before we can get you the full accounting in the detail. And so when you really think about it, the process is we've spent 2 months stressing about wanting to do something before we finally make a call and then initiate what is most likely a 2-week process to finish it up. And so what I believe happens in too many families is that the stress is just building and building and building. Yeah. And what happens during this process is I think it's very natural for us to want to hit the easy button. And that's where people take a vacation that they've taken before, or they do a cruise. It's that one thing and I'm done type of button. Yeah. Well, what we did is, keeping in mind that we wanted to be a high touch luxury thing, we also took our services and productized it. So what we now offer our clients is the democratization of information very, very quickly. And what I mean by that is very simply this is, starting right now, we actually have 66 tours in 19 countries that anybody can pull any proposal good for any day of the year in under 5 minutes. And you can completely customize that yourself at your home without talking to anybody and make it exactly the way you want to before you say yes. So what we're doing is we're trying to give people the tools to be able to make the right decision for their vacation so that you don't have to do a vacation you've done before or something that you don't necessarily want to do, but that is easy to plan.
Yeah. I love everything that you're talking about, because it really, you can transfer what you're talking about really, Shane, to any company when it comes to thinking about how to create an exceptional experience for your clients, no matter what industry you're in. The importance, and I talk about this a lot as a business coach, Shane, the importance of productizing things for people, because people have a less attention span than a goldfish. That's less than 7 seconds. You've got less than 7 seconds for somebody to understand your message and see you as a product that they would take off the shelf and make it easy for them to get to. And also find the who's to help you do things, so you don't have to do it yourself or start from scratch. So everything you're sharing is music to my ears when it comes to what every company needs to do. As you zoom out, Shane, of your business, and we just came out of not just, but we've recently come out of COVID, where people were not traveling, to now. People are traveling like crazy.
Gangbusters.
But what's interesting is that travel costs are actually up 42.5%, right? Sure. Airfare is up 42.5%. Yet people are still spending the money to travel. And you can look at additional studies that people have more savings than they have in some time. And so what does the travel industry look like now as we're moving into 2023? What does it look like? And how do you prep your business today for a plan B if there were another, I hate to say it, just event that would cause the travel industry to stop?
Well, thank you, John. Those are two disparate questions. I agree. One of the big things that we're trying to do is just be able to get information in people's hands so that they can make the right call quickly. I feel like the industry as a whole has gone through a lot of ebbs and flows. It used to be 20 years ago that you had to have a travel agent just to be able to disseminate the information that you're going through. What's happened with the internet is now there's honestly too much information, and it's really easy to get into decision paralysis in terms of not knowing what to do when there's so many options. So in very large part, our job is to be a tastemaker and to be able to ensure that we have great options that, result in great tours. But that being said, the second part of your question was more to the point of like, what's the plan B if this happens again? I don't know that answer. I know that COVID for us was 15 months of dead business, but it led us to two really good ideas. And we've been able to implement those two ideas only because we were in COVID and we had, a lot of time to be able to work on this. It's no small feat to be able to give a custom proposal on over 66 tours in under 5 minutes. And again, that's wholly because we had the time.
Yeah.
So for me, when I started this business, there was no plan B or plan C. There was plan A, and that was it. And I was going to be successful at it.
I love that. Yeah. Let's talk about that pause for a minute, right? So
Sure.
the pause gave you time to think about other great ideas. How do you keep that pause and reflection, that executive time, if you will, on a consistent basis to come up with additional ideas, new ideas?
That's been one of the most, something I think about a lot, because to be honest, I've been able to innovate a number of things about our business over the years. I think what the problem that I've had is maybe too many ideas, and then you chase the squirrel and kind of go down the rabbit hole of implementing each new idea, and each one is not necessarily a winner. Now, I will say this, I very much cotton to Jeff Bezos's philosophy of wanting to fail fast. So I do implement a lot of ideas, see how they stick, see what their pricing models look like, and then we jettison the ones that don't work. But, the reality is that over the years, we've come up with a number of things that come really, really handy for our clients. I'll just highlight two just to keep things simple and quick. One is vacation photography. I've long since thought that most of it sucks. You hand your camera or your phone to a stranger and you play what I call the hoping game. You hope that they frame it. You hope that they focus it. You hope they don't steal it. There's a lot of hoping, but what there's not a lot of is great pictures.
Yeah.
And so I thought that there was really something missing in people's vacations, because ultimately these are moments in time that you've spent an enormous amount of resources, time, effort, and money to be there. And yet there's not usually a lot of memorial type pictures from that event. And so really what I thought of was, how can we make this better? And we optionally you can bring a professional photographer to your vacation in different parts. We can do it over multiple different days. And we have them do paparazzi style photographs at medium to long range lenses, so that they're not a wedding style photographer telling you to, shoulders back, chin up, stuff like that. But our job is to let you be in the moment and still get the good shots.
Yeah.
And foundationally, those pictures have been just phenomenal. And no other company really offers that as an option.
Yeah.
And the second thing is our custom daily amenities package, which is something that we're actually giving away for free right now with people that purchase within the first 3 days of getting their proposal. But the custom daily amenities package is because I was able to notice that a lot of our clients maybe missed a specific opportunity to interface with that country just because they didn't know any better, or because they didn't go down the right street or stop in the right store. And what I mean by that is, there's all sorts of fantastic specialties in different places of the world. And for example, in Belgium, there's a small conical gummy candy called a Couberdon. My wife loves them. Okay. But if you don't know what a Couberdon is, you don't know that they're Belgium. You could literally walk past 5 or 6 carts and never buy one. And then you would completely miss out on a very Belgian experience. And really, this is just one example of how you can miss out. And so what I wanted to do was create an immersive experience for our clients. And so our custom daily amenities package finds and sources locally produced specialties from each area we do business in. These could be candy, clothes, food, non-food, knives, wooden bowls, jewelry, perfume, you name it. It doesn't matter what it is. It matters two things. One, you cannot find it in a tourist shop. And two, it's a local specialty. And we just deliver one of those items to your room every day so that you don't miss out on anything with our system. So these are just some examples of the ways that we've innovated the experience to be able to create even though we've created a very standardized, simple booking process, we still are able to add in a high degree of customization and specialization to be able to bring each person's tour up to the next level.
Yeah. I wish my wife and I planned a trip for us and our kids to London for 2 weeks this past summer. I wish I would have known you a year ago to help me plan it. I mean, we had an exceptional time, but it would have been great just because, you know, you don't know the nuances of what, you know, if you don't know the nuances. And so
Yes, for true.
you're right. So what you're talking about is the special little things that make a really, really big impact. I love it. I love what you do. And it's, you know, it's the small things that make things really exceptional. And so,
It always is.
yeah. So I love the way that you describe that. All right, let's do a quick speed round, Shane. Book that's had the biggest impact on you.
The what that's had the biggest impact?
A book that's had the biggest impact on you.
Principles by Ray Dalio.
Oh, great book. Yeah.
Never Split the Difference. I'm just going to cheat here.
Yeah, another great one. Yeah.
I really like the Dalai Lama's book about being happiness. I think it's called Happiness.
Yeah.
Amazing book. I'll stop there.
Okay,
lot. I've read several good books lately that have been really, really good. I've been reading The Network Effect by David Chen, and that's really interesting too. So,
The Network Effect.
Yeah, it's you know, how did Uber get so big using networks, incorporating networks of people doing certain things and making that happen. It's just kind of a study on some of the companies that have been able to incorporate network effects into their marketing strategies.
Oh, that sounds great. Oh, good. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. All right. The best piece of wisdom you've ever received.
When it comes to taste, no one is ever wrong.
Yeah, that's a good one. Finish this sentence. One thing everybody can do to make an experience in their company a little bit better is
spend more than you want. Spend more than you budget for.
Yeah,
you know,
good, I like it.
I think a lot of people, you know, especially when they start booking their own travel, they start looking at pinching the pennies, right? You know, you're like, oh, of course I could do that thing, but let me just save the money. And what I would encourage everybody to do is to spend the money and get the experience, because you know, here's the thing is, if 5 years later you remember how much money you spent on your vacation, it was a crappy vacation. Let me just clue you in. But if the only thing you remember is all the amazing things you did and you're not really sure how much money you spent, that's where you did things right.
That's good. I love that. Tell people who your ideal clients are, where they can connect with you, and you know, where some of your, you know, key travel excursions are.
So we're really easy to connect with me. You can connect with me at ShaneMahoney360.com. That's SHANE Mahoney, like MA Honey 360.com. That has all of our web properties, as well as the ability to schedule time with me or text me or call me. So that's probably the easiest thing to disseminate. And then what was the other part of the question?
Just who your ideal clients are, and you know what some of your excursions are.
You know, there's a lot of ways to describe it, but our avatar is probably in their mid 30s to late 50s. Is you probably an executive level person who has at least a spouse and a family, and likes to be able to travel by themselves. So there's no groups being mixed with other people, to be able to create a private experience where you can really immerse yourself into your family, your time in that place, and that sort of thing. You know, on a financial level, we have tours starting at 5 days for around $7,500 for 2 people. And we go up to around 17 days, around $35,000. These are all very diverse in terms of what we do, how long, what's included, and where it is. But, we offer tours in Egypt, Africa, most of Europe, the Maldives, Tahiti, Japan, Vietnam, a little bit of South America, kind of all the places you would want to go. We pretty much have covered.
Yeah. So cool. Good. Well, I'm looking forward to using you on an upcoming trip, Shane. What you're doing sounds incredible. Think Community, as you know, I'm a business coach. I work with successful people who are stuck. I get them unstuck. And one of the great parts about this podcast is I have guests that can get you unstuck. We talked about a lot of great things today that you can really apply to your business. I'll extract something. I'll extract one thing from Shane, although Shane, I loved a lot of things that you shared today, but it is figure out what makes you exceptional. And if you can't figure it out, you're probably losing business because of it. And so figure out what makes you exceptional. And it's a great thing to do on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, but get to exceptional. When you can provide extreme value for someone, that gets them closer to their aspirations and their dreams, and something that can help build their future or build a memory, like Shane, like you do. Value. Think about the value that you're bringing to your clients. Is it exceptional? Is it great? Is it mediocre? You got to be exceptional. As a business coach. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I thought of a book along the lines of what you were just talking about, and I would say it's pivotal. I try to read it every year. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and he talks really specifically about operating in your zone of genius instead of your zone of excellence.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, your zone of excellence is probably the things that you do right now that are making you money, but the zone of genius are the things you actually like working on.
Yeah.
So, for example, some of the things that I have to do in my business is work on P&L sheets and accounting, but I don't really like that. My zone of genius is being able to put together experiences for people.
Yeah.
So I try to live in my zone of genius as much as possible and hire for my zone of excellence.
Yeah.
And I think that's been really pivotal in making sure that we can grow as a company, but also as a person, and put that together. So
yeah. And I'll add this to what you said, Shane, because I think it's important. It's looking at those people to do what you don't want to do, or that you even may be excellent, but is not in your zone of genius. The Big Leap is a great book, and I love the philosophy of what you're talking about. I live by it as well. You have to look at those people as an investment, not an expense to your business.
Sure.
And look at the ROI. Sometimes people say, "Oh, well, if I have to pay that person X." Well, yeah, but if you have to make that person X, but can make 10 times or 100 times in the time that you don't have to do it and can spend your time, it's so huge. So really be thinking about, investment versus expense. And I just want to add one thing, and sometimes you got to move your scarce mentality to an abundant mentality.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, I mean, one of the things I would say to anybody listening is value your time. And if you can value your time at least $100 an hour, then you'll understand very foundationally that our company will save you between $4,000 and $8,000 versus you doing it yourself. If you wanted to do an apples to apples trip. Now, ultimately, John, what I would leave everybody with is this one little nugget, which is, of course, you can probably plan a lot of this yourself. You're not going to plan it as well as we do or as fast as we do, but you can. Here's the thing. Raise your hand if you want to be the one taking care of emergencies that happen while you're on vacation.
Yeah.
And if your hand is really up, then you really do need to plan your own trips. But if your hand is not up, then it's time to have somebody else do it, because a lot of times, and I can't even tell you how many times, we have solved problems for clients before they even woke up and knew there was a problem.
Yeah.
And so do you want to have a vacation where you're solving problems, or do you want to have one where you just enjoy yourself? And that is a very key and foundational difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I say the same thing. I'm a business coach. I work with solopreneurs to Fortune companies, C-level execs, leaders, owners, managers, salespeople. And I always say to them, like, you can get to where you need to get to on your own. You'll just get there a lot faster with me.
Sure.
Like you're saying. This was great, Shane. I really appreciate you taking time to be on the show. Appreciate your wisdom. Great. You got a great company. Think Community. If Shane can help you, check out ShaneMahoney360.com. and it'll lead you to everything that that you would need to get in touch with him. If you need me, please reach out at jondwoskin.com. Shane, this was great. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Think community. Thanks so much.
Thank you.